Captain's Log Supplemental. A little under the weather for the last few days. One of the cadets brought a cat on board from Theodosia 7. Well, it's some sort of a cat. Apparently they've got a virus there, remarkably similar to influenza, that easily crosses between species. Now we've all got feline influenza with the awful symptom of coughing up fur balls every morning. Our next stop better not make me hate dogs or I'll be real sad.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Captain's Log Supplemental. My name is Stanford, recording from the AM for the first time in this podcast history.
Woo.
I am joined, as always, by my two friends and co-hosts, Rob and Chris.
Morning.
Good morning.
And we are joined, although somewhat sparingly this morning, by our lovely producer, Mariah.
Hi there.
She is currently making fresh English muffins on the stove, so she will be mostly absent. Although she still has us in our hearts.
Sourdough English muffins.
They're really good, man. Like all of you owe it to yourself if you ever get the opportunity to eat like a fresh English muffin still hot from the pan. It's fucking delicious. Anyways, Captain's Log Supplemental is a Star Trek rewatch podcast. We're rewatching all of Star Trek in chronological canon order. Finished Enterprise, and now we are working through Discovery. We're about 2/3 of the way through the first season. I would like, if you, actually, let me do this first. If you like what you hear, or if you don't, that's totally fine. Give us a rate, give us a review, just tell all your friends, go find us on any old podcast thing and just say we're 5-star, quality, because we are 5-star people. I also want to do this real quick. Previously on Captain's Log Supplemental.
You know what I got for Father's Day?
Oh, yeah, Rob's here. What's up, Rob?
I may have contracted COVID.
So, Rob, how you feeling?
Not great, Bob. Not great.
Oh, so yeah, go ahead. Tell us all about it.
I got COVID for the second time.
Oh, is this
Rob,
your?
I was listening to the last episode, I think yesterday, and you were like, "Yeah, I've been exposed, so we'll see what happens." I'm like, "Oh no."
Yeah, so I'm gonna cut that in from the previous episode.
Oh God. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But you are feeling better though?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still tested positive, but
Wow.
My joints no longer hurt, which
well,
is
that's
a
good.
plus. That's a fun
Yeah.
symptom.
This is completely unrelated to that. You're good? Because I'm gonna move on.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I've got this checklist of shit. I got a lot of shit to cover this morning. So I look at our ratings on the various apps, and we still have the same number. It's like my dad gave us 4 stars because he's an asshole, and then like John gave us 5 stars, and then on Apple Podcasts, Mariah gave us 5 stars because we believe in nepotism. But I noticed on this other website that like we had 2 reviews on Apple, and I'm like, that's weird. I only see 1. So I went and checked the other review, and it turns out we have another 5-star review. Now we don't have I don't have words. It's just a rating, I guess, a 5-star rating from Ireland. So shout out to the random Irish guy that apparently rated us a while ago that I did not notice, or I should say Irish person. You're the best. Thank you very much. I apologize for not getting back to you earlier on this, but I did not know that like I had to go to like Apple Podcast.ie or whatever Ireland's thing. I think it's IE. So yes, shout out to our Irish listener that apparently thinks we're pretty sweet.
Yeah. I could make a very bad top of the morning joke to you, but I'm not going to do it.
So fun fact, they actually don't say that in Ireland.
Oh, I know. That's why I didn't do it.
Yeah, my I'm like genetically wicked Irish, because my grandmother is like the daughter of 2 Irish immigrants. So
Sure.
Do you think they like Lucky Charms?
I mean, everyone likes Lucky Charms. They're delicious.
I want to just point out here that I do not like Lucky Charms.
Really?
Get out.
The marshmallows are chalky.
Not if they're in milk?
Yes, even when they're in milk. It's so honestly, I guess taste. I don't like. The taste is fine. It's the texture of the marshmallows that bothers me.
All right, so we're looking for a new host for the show.
Like, do you like the marshmallows in Swiss Miss? Because like they're the same.
Ew, no, those are the worst.
No,
What?
I definitely don't.
No, dude, I would eat entire bags of those.
Oh my god.
You can buy at Mary Mead, which is a local farm near us. I'm saying that for everyone because Rob knows. They sell bags of like Lucky Charms marshmallows that you could like put in any cereal.
God.
Okay, so listen. I need somebody to make a run out to Mary because I don't want to get people like COVID.
Mariah can run to
Damn.
Mary Mead.
Aren't they they're freeze dried, right? That's why they're that texture.
Yeah.
I assume so, yeah.
Yeah, I like some freeze dried stuff. Apparently not marshmallows.
There's Fruity Pebbles with marshmallows now, and it tastes exactly like you think it does, which is not, I don't know. The word perfect gets thrown around a lot these days. Oh man, there was a week there, like every once in a while, you know how you get in one of those funks where you're like, I don't feel like cooking. And like, so there was a week where we were eating out like too much. And Mariah's like, we're eating out too much. God damn it. And I'm like, oh, so we're not ordering Chinese tonight? She's like, no, God damn it. And I'm pulling groceries out of the bag and I pull out the marshmallow Fruity Pebbles. And she's like, and knock that shit off too. Oh man. So, all right. Well, so this week we are doing Discovery episode 10, season 1, Despite Yourself.
You said that, you enunciated that weirdly.
Despite yourself?
I don't know. It sounded like despite yourself.
It's like a Jackson Brown album.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like a command.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Jackson Brown? That doesn't sound right. No, I've said it out loud. Something Brown.
Yeah. Before you get started on the summary, our first fun fact of the day.
Oh shit. Oh man, I didn't even start yet. When there's some trivia you can't miss, it's a fun fact with Chris.
Yeah, so this is the first episode of Star Trek franchise since Prototype in 1996, which is 22 years earlier, to be directed by Jonathan Frakes.
You know, our deep dive is all about Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah. So he did direct both Star Trek First Contact in 96.
Would you shut your fucking mouth?
In the interim. But yeah, this is the first show episode to be directed since then.
So I don't want to like ruin your deep dive, but I did do a deep dive on Jonathan Frakes last season.
Did you talk about all of the individual episodes he directed?
No.
Well, then fuck off.
Okay.
Although now I can cut the bio part at the beginning a little shorter.
Yeah, that, as I recall, that is what it was about. It was mostly him as an individual.
Okay, well, look, we've done a lot of these. All right.
we have.
This is always one of my fears that like I'll get something prepped for a segment and then realize later that we already did it.
Oh man, I thought you were going to be like, so my potpourri is about Jonathan Frakes today, but you did the cold.
No, I just did the cold open.
So, cold open of this episode. There's a recap. I skipped it. And then there was like this weird pan and like a tone with them in space, and I went space. The final. No, wait. We pan to the Discovery, which is still in this like junk field, and they're trying to figure out where they are. They're like, this is weird. The ships look Klingon, but they also don't look Klingon. And then this Vulcan ship shows up. And it's like Vulcans are powering weapons, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And they're trying to act like, "Oh, maybe they're shooting at something behind us." They were not. The Vulcans were shooting at them. But fortunately, the Cooper came and saved them. I don't know. Is that you think that's named after Bradley Cooper?
Definitely.
It's got to be. It's probably Who knows?
Yeah, the ISS Bradley Cooper. So the Cooper comes in and they're trying to shoot the Vulcans. They can't quite, the Discovery can't target it because their sensors are all fucked up from the interdimensional transportation thing. The Cooper helps them finish off the Vulcans. Cooper's like, y'all suck. And Discovery's like, thanks. And then the Cooper leaves. Lorca is like, we got to figure out how the fuck to get out of here. But the problem is that Stamets is still whacked out of his goddamn mind.
Minor note on the Cooper, just because I had to look it up. My guess is it's probably named after Leroy Gordo Cooper Jr., who was one of the original 7 Mercury astronauts and participated in both the Mercury and Gemini programs.
I'm going with Bradley Cooper. Anyways, while they're trying to figure out how to where they are, we get back to this like fake quantum signature nonsense, which is one of those things that's like, is the computer constantly scanning for quantum signatures or not? Or like, I don't understand how this is supposed to work.
The other thing that makes me a little scared of the change in quantum signature, I'll say, is like, if a quantum signature changes between universes, it's probably because the laws of physics aren't behaving the same, and that's terrifying.
So anyways, I'm not going to get any sleep tonight, but Lorca points out with a very dramatic reading of this line that this is not our universe. I don't know why Lorca delivered it like that. And then we get into the opening. Okay, Act 1. The crew of the Discovery got a new rotary trolley camera rig, so they're going to use the fuck out of it during this sequence where Lorca, Saru, and Burnham are like talking about how they got to this other dimension around a conference table, and the camera doesn't stop moving around them in a circle. Lorca's clearly trying to cover for the fact that he is the one who brought them here. So that's fun. Back in sickbay, Stamets is hallucinating hard. Like he's hallucinating so hard that his eyeballs are cloudy. Then he gets up and just punches Dr. Dreamy right in the face, which is not cool. And like belts him across the room. I don't know if this was supposed to be like is he supposed to like be stronger than normal? It seemed like he hit him really hard.
That was my question. Like, it wasn't just he fell down. It was he flew halfway across the room.
But I wasn't sure if that was just like an overly dramatic trip on Dr. Dreamy's part.
Yeah.
No, I think that you interpreted that correctly. Like, I think he's supposed to be super strong because of the mushrooms.
I mean, it's
he's
like bath
power.
salts. Yeah.
Shroomroids.
However, Dr. Dreamy gets Stamets to kind of calm down and gets him into the isolation chamber inside the medical bay where he puts the shields up, like containment. Lorca comes down to see what's going on. Dr. Dreamy's like, yo, Captain, you're kind of a dick, fuck you. And Lorca's like, I know you're mad at me. I'm his captain, so I'm responsible for his well-being. No, he's mad at you because you did this to him. Like, that's not, like... but anyways,
it's kind of funny watching this, like, after already having watched this once.
Right.
And, like, seeing Lorca being played the way he is, it's actually pretty great.
It actually, Lorca does an alright job. Yeah. They are trying to figure out as much as they can about the universe, and I believe Burnham detects, or maybe Saru does, inside the debris field around them, like an intact computer core in one of the Klingon ships. So for some reason they send the head of security out in this little fucking Pinchy McGrabberson shuttle to go get that.
The worker bee, which never appears again in any Star Trek.
Why is Ash doing this?
Why is the bridge crew the one always doing everything?
But like, at least send one of the pilots.
Or an engineer.
You know, like like in Voyager, because you're right, it's always the bridge crew because they're the ones with the names. I get that. But in Voyager, Tom Paris would be doing this, not fucking Tuvok. You know?
Yeah, I mean...
It's just weird.
We needed a dramatic incident.
It's weird for Ash to do it, and of course Ash goes full-on PTSD mode again. I said, oh look, he's back in Nam. Who would have guessed that? This is all kind of a dumb sequence, if I'm honest. I also don't like how imprecise this laser cutting thing is, because he has to, like, steer it with his hand, which seems weird. Like, we have CNC machines today. They can't figure this out better?
All right, I'm not going to lie, I like the hand controls.
All right, cool. Yeah, you would. I'm not saying they didn't look cool. I'm saying it's a dumb way to operate a laser cutter.
Maybe not.
He gets the core, and the camera really wants us to know this because it zooms straight into Ash's moist mouth as he goes, got it. It was kind of a weird pan.
You didn't like the mouth close-up?
It was just odd. Like, it's fine. I'll take a close-up of a mouth. I'm not sensitive, but like, it was just an odd choice.
Hey, Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
All 9,000 taste buds.
That's my fucking favorite YouTube video. Have you not seen the all 9,000 taste buds?
All the what?
Oh,
all 9,000 taste buds?
No, apparently not.
Oh man.
All right,
We gotta show you that.
we'll show you that in the break. Okay, so sorry, I lost my place because I was smacking my mouth too much. Oh yeah, so Ash is on his way back. Burnham cuts the transmission. Then Lorca's like, "Yo, are you fucking Ash?" And Burnham's like, "No, maybe." Anyways, we cut back to Laurel because Laurel's still here. We
Sounds so
get
angry.
we get more into this. Laurel's fine. We get more into this like Dom sub relationship that happens here because Laurel's like, "Hey, open the cell," and Ash is like, "All right." Then they do the "What do we want, Kayless? When do we want it right now?" prayer, which is supposed to like activate Ash's like sub personality, like a Manchurian candidate.
Trivia note here.
Oh, go ahead.
Later on, Culver references the Manchurian test while he's talking to Ash about running the tests that were run after he came back, and that is a nod to the Manchurian candidate, where a squad of American soldiers were captured during the Korean War and brainwashed to become sleeper agents.
The movie. Did y'all see them? Did y'all see the remake?
No.
A long time ago.
Oh man, I saw it in the theater. It's not Korea anymore. It's like Desert Storm. It's got Denzel Washington, who's not in a bad movie. Like all movies with Denzel Washington are at least okay. But like, so in the original Manchurian Candidate, it's like the guy's like activated and he becomes like this kind of zombie. And then it's like, shoot so-and-so. And he like raises the gun all slow and shaky and shoots him. And it's like supposed to be like creepy and stuff. It's from the 70s, I think. Maybe. Yeah, that's
68.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay. So
or
68.
No. I'm sorry, 62. I was looking at the wrong date.
Wow, that old. Okay. But the remake, so Denzel Washington's like going in and they're like, they activate him. And he's like, "What can I do for you, sir?" And Denzel Washington's and the evil captain or whatever is like, "I need you to kill Sergeant so and so." And there's like a guy sitting right there, and Denzel Washington goes, "Yeah, no problem." And just takes out his gun and just casually shoots him in the head, and then puts it back. It's like, "Anything else I can do for you, sir?" And like, because it's not like this big production, it's so much creepier. Like it is disturbingly creepy when Denzel Washington does it that way. Good movie, actually. I need to watch it again. I saw it in the theater, so it's been fucking 20 years.
Right. Yeah, it came out in 2004.
Hot damn. I know that perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
However, Laurel's little Manchurian speech doesn't work, and Ash locks her back in the prison and runs, and Laurel looks quite surprised and taken aback by that. My next note is, in the next act, is this whole episode going to be Tyler's wah-wah time? Because I think this is where he's crying to, I think this is where that speech comes up from Dr. Culver about the Manchurian test and all that. Once again, why the fuck is there not a therapist on this ship? Because it seems like that would be very handy right about now. But of course, Ash is a big macho manly man, so he can deal with it. So that's his entire thing. And then in the mess hall, does he talk to Burnham here?
Yeah, Burnham.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And he's like, "I could deal with it. Shut up." And then she leaves, and he destroys a glass cup. He fucks that cup up. Down engineering, Tilly and Burnham are trying to get that data chip working that they pulled. They did, and they find out about the Terran Empire, and then they find out about Captain Killy.
Yeah.
The real hero of this show.
Oh my god.
So the Cooper, I think it's the Cooper shows back up to be like, "Hey, y'all haven't moved. Are you okay?" And they're like, Killy has to respond to this. And the Lorca's like, "Just don't say much." And Tilly's like, have you met me? I talk a lot. And Tilly's like, "Hold your horses," which is the funniest fucking thing.
oh, flippin' heck. Oh, geez, gosh.
Yeah, she's like, oh, gee, Willikers. She's trying to be mean. She's trying to make up some shit about why they haven't left yet. And so she's like, "My engineer will tell you."
Oh my
and then
god.
Lorca affects a Scottish accent, which is supposed to be a nod to Scotty.
Yeah, clearly.
But it was actually kind of funny. And then, of course, we need to show a lot of progress being made over a short amount of time. So what do we need?
So it's time for a montage.
Hell yeah. So yes, we get a montage of them converting the Discovery's like identification stuff over to ISS Discovery. Do you have a trivia note here, Chris?
I actually don't know this one.
Okay, so this is the first and only time in Star Trek that they actually do this. That they try that any Starfleet vessel pretends to be a Terran ship.
Oh, interesting.
Huh.
Now, so as kind of a throwback, y'all played Diablo 2, right?
Yeah.
In Diablo 2, there's a fight, if you have the expansion pack, because you're awesome. There's a fight with Bale, right, at the very end of the game.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
one of the moves Bale does is drop a clone, and you have to fight both of them. But, like, if you do enough damage to the original Bale, he'll move out of that phase, and then the clone will just automatically die. But, like, you didn't know which one was the real Bale, except that because of some kind of UI thing, the clone Bale's name was like indented a slight couple of pixels more than the original one's name. So like that was how you could tell, right?
Interesting.
Like that's what I was thinking the entire time, that they erased the U on USS Discovery and wrote an I, because I'm like, they're going to notice. They're going to notice those few pixels are wrong. Like it's not centered anymore.
That's funny.
That's a joke that like 3 people in the entire world are going to understand. Hopefully that Irish person as well. Oh yeah. Okay. So we're learning about Tilly and like what her mirror universe version is like. And they come up with these weird titles for her. She's like the massacrist of so-and-so and the mistress of death and stuff. And then it's like, but they really just call you Captain Killy. And Saru's like, well, that's not very clever, which is probably the best line out of Saru this entire show, because that's fucking funny.
It's so great.
Okay, so Lorca laying on his facial shock very thick because he's got to pretend that he's never been here before. However, he's talking to, I think, either Burnham or Tilly or both, that like the mirror universe's existence is the best like evidence for the existence of destiny, which I find to be stupid.
Weird.
That's a stupid sentence.
I feel like it's the opposite, because like anything could happen.
Yeah, some random permutation.
Anything could happen, and yet we
changes
all
things,
ended
but-
up being the same people on the same ships through all of time.
Yeah, it's weird.
We do get a reference to Enterprise, though, here, as they talk about the Defiant.
Yes, I do have a trivia note here.
There, go ahead.
All right, so the visual display that they project on here for the Constitution class, the USS Defiant, matches neither the ship's original configuration, as seen in the Tholian Web in 1968, or in either of the Mirror Darkly episodes.
Did they forget the impellers?
It didn't specify that, but they also noted it does not. It also doesn't match the modernized version of the Constitution design that's seen in 2018's "Will You Take My Hand?" It featured throughout Discovery's second season, as well as Strange New Worlds. So
they just really went all willy-nilly. I'm assuming they would have said that in the trivia note. Weird. I wonder what it's supposed to. I wonder where they got the model.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. That is a fun fact, Chris. Thank you. Okay. So they talk about the Defiant. Then they talk about this plan that they have. Their plan is to, because I guess like the ISS Shenzhou is showing up.
Yes.
And so they're like, okay, here's our plan. Our plan is, it turns out Burnham in this reality is missing, presumed dead, and Lorca is missing, presumed dead. And that they had kind of a thing. So their plan is for Burnham to pretend to be Mirror Universe Burnham, having captured Lorca, who's pretending to be regular universe Lorca, pretending to be Mirror Universe Lorca, which is very complicated now that I've said that out loud.
I'm a dude disguised as a dude.
Right. And then they're going to get on the Shenzhou and then access the files about the Defiant so they can figure out how the Defiant got here. Okay. It's a very complicated plan, I guess is my point. There's no way it's going to work. Meanwhile, they're still talking to, I guess Dr. Dreamy is talking to Stamets and something. Or no, Dr. Dreamy's talking to somebody. Sorry, I watched this a
Ash.
few,
He's talking
few
with
episodes
Tyler.
ago. That's
Yeah,
And
this is where we
Stamets
get
like
the
wakes up.
Yeah, this is so Ash goes to see Culber because he's freaking out and wants additional tests run. This is where Culber references
right.
the
Okay, the first
test.
one was he was just talking to Burnham. Now he's talking to
Right.
Dr. Dreamy. Okay.
Correct, yeah.
Dr. Dreamy is so damn calm and collected and dashing through this whole sequence. Like, he's very like, we did this. Maybe you just need to stop being a little bitch about it. I don't know if you want to try that. Did you try that? Like, my husband or fiance or boyfriend, I'm not sure what their actual relationship is yet, is like near catatonic and hallucinating. But sure, tell me about your fucking problems, Ash. Stamets is yelling at people to stay out of the palace, which, like, the assumption is it's a reference to the Emperor's palace.
That was my assumption, yeah.
And then we get a nice boy kiss, which, like, I guess the millennial in me is it's still nice to see this shit on TV, you know, because like we used to not.
Yeah, even the shows that like featured gay people,
right?
Yeah,
and it's nice to see intimacy between not just like a hot girl and a hot guy.
Yeah, and he wakes Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, he does for just a moment. And then he's like, "Hey, love you," and then his irises milk over again, and Dr. Dreamy's like, "No, that sucks." Although I don't know, that feels like something you should look into. The whole irises milking over every time he slips in and out of a fucking hallucinatory state. That just seems like the body doesn't do that. It is weird.
Yeah, Stamets wakes up long enough to say the enemy is here, and then immediately goes back.
That's right. And I'm assuming Stamets is talking about Lorca at that.
I think he's. He might be talking about Ash. Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
As we will see demonstrated quite effectively later.
Yeah.
Okay, so they took the fuck out of a straightener to Tilly's hair. Her hair is just fucking razor straight now instead of that kinky
and blonde.
Oh yeah, and they also made it blonde instead of red. There's a couple of speeches that go back and forth here. Lorca makes a speech about how we're going to survive this because we're better than the Terran Empire because we have love on our side is literally his speech. Like, not word for word, but that's basically what he says.
You missed the part where Tilly says let's go talk to these assholes or something.
Yeah. Did I?
Yeah, because it's when Burnham gives Tilly the pep talk about being Killy.
Oh, that's the speeches stuff. Okay.
I can't remember where it is in this episode, but Tilly had a great line where she says, "Great, I'm going to have nightmares about myself now."
Oh, she was reading her backstory about all the terrible things she's done.
Yeah. Okay.
And the captains, for whatever reason, in the Mirror Universe, the captains wear like these like armor chest piece things, these like ceremonial like breastplates.
Yeah. Well, it's to stop the stabbings from happening.
Stop the stabbings, yeah, pretty much. Although it doesn't seem to work. I'm going to be honest, a lot of stabbing still happens.
Very valid point, yeah.
Of course, Lorca looks cool as fuck in his jacket. Like, leather jackets, man. I don't know if it's just me, but like leather jackets are so fucking cool. In order to convince the Shenzhou that Lorca was taken properly, he smashes the fuck out of his own face against the bulkhead, which is real crazy looking. And then Burnham, so the Shenzhou shows up. Cooper, which is like a rather guapo gentleman who was on the bridge of the Shenzhou, he is now not Cooper. What is his name?
Connor.
Cooper's the name of the other ship. Connor,
or as I refer to him as Lieutenant Sassy.
Lieutenant Sassy. Yeah, he is a little sassy.
Well, no, he's the one who got sucked out in the brig when they got attacked. And like back in the original, like the first couple episodes.
That's right.
Yeah.
He calls up and is like, hey, Discovery, what the fuck's happening? And Killy's like, shut your bitch mouth, bitch. And it's funny. But then Burnham brings Lorca onto the bridge and is like, sorry, I was dealing with this. Because Killy's like, we found something that belongs to you. And Captain Burnham, well, because she's supposed to be captain of the Shenzhou. Connor's like, oh shit, Captain Burnham, you caught the traitor. And then Burnham pets Lorca's hair in a weird way, which is gross. And then I know she says something about like, if you don't if you don't shut your mouth, I'll cut your tongue out and use it to lick my boots, which is just funny. That's a funny fucking line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I have something about being transformed. Oh, Dr. Dreamy's talking about Stamets being transformed. No. Dr. Dreamy is talking about Ash. Ash, that's right. Because he finally, Dr. Dreamy runs some deep scans on Ash, and he's like, hey, it turns out you've been transformed, which is a weird word to use, to be honest.
Right, they laid. He's basically kind of describes how a personality has been laid on top of his original personality.
Let me take you back to my house on Wednesday when I'm watching this episode and typing these notes, because I wanted to write the note. Okay, yeah, because if he clearly has limb shortening and he matches his current height that's on file, then obviously he's supposed to be taller. So I'm writing this note. Yeah, if he matches his... And then Dr. Dreamy gets fucked up, and I went, no, Dr. Dreamy!
Yeah, no, it's okay, so he had clearly seen these things in the test results, and there's something really wrong going on here. And why there's no security personnel whatsoever in the medical area?
Nope.
I mean... There's a single security personnel.
No, there's not. Well, okay.
Well, Ash
doesn't count. So yeah, but yeah, he when he realizes what Culber's telling him, he just fucking does the old neck snap.
Oh, is that what he did? He snapped his neck?
Yes.
I thought he just punched him.
He did the classic get behind him and twist their neck.
Oh shit! Snap. Oh, Dr. Dreamy, no. What's your question, Rob?
Does that actually work?
No.
Cool.
It's literally never worked ever in human history. It is a purely Hollywood thing. Because here's a fun fact.
That's amazing.
Your neck can turn that far. What is it supposed to be doing? The worst.
You'd have to wrench it quite a bit farther.
And let me tell you something. I've broken my neck, so I know kind of what it's like. What that will theoretically do, you could strain tendons and muscles if you're moving them faster than they're ready to move. And they'll resist themselves moving that fast. So you could hurt someone in a muscle soreness kind of way. You could theoretically, I guess, snap a tendon, but your spine can do that. You're not going to kill someone. And plus the other thing too is you have to break the spine really high up to kill someone instantly. I broke my 5th vertebrae. I was conscious the whole time, right?
Yeah.
You have to break it at 1 or 2, C1 or C2, if you're going to actually kill someone with it. So, no, it wouldn't work. But it looks cool as shit, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the classic go-to move for that.
At worst, what would happen is you would dislocate their neck, which is a real thing that happens to people, usually when their head gets spun around pretty much backwards. And it will fuck up their spinal cord, although depending on how badly, not permanently, because spinal cords are pretty flexible because they have to be.
Dude,
yeah.
That's got to be terrifying, though. All of a sudden, you're looking the wrong way.
Can I tell you what's terrifying? Watching your arm fall into your field of vision, but you can't feel it, so you didn't know it was doing that.
Oh.
I thought my arm had fallen off. That's what it looked like because it's just you're not expecting your arm to suddenly be there, and there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to be back in my own nom if someone wants to take over.
Yeah, right. We're demonstrating actual PTSD for the audience here.
Oh, man. Every once in a while, ambulance scenes on shows will get me. So they're in the transporter room. The plan is to take Burnham, Lorca, and Ash over to the Shenzhou. Ash is late to this because he's busy killing Dr. Dreamy.
Well, Tilly too.
What about Tilly?
She goes too.
She doesn't go over to the Shenzhou. She's just in the transporter room.
Didn't she? Oh, maybe not. I guess not.
She's just seeing them off.
That's right.
Ash shows up. Lorca's like, "Where were you?" And Ash is like, and he's like, "All right, fine." So they get in and beam them over. The first thing Connor says is, "We got rid of the lateral transporters," which I find to be a stupid statement because they're clearly visible behind them. You can see them right there. So I don't know why they even use that fucking line.
They needed to explain why they used the vertical CG. for
I
him
guess
until-
I guess so, but the dishes are still there. I don't know. It was a dumb line. Like, you didn't need that line because, like, the Discovery beamed them over to them. So therefore, like, it doesn't matter what the Shenzhou's got equipped, right?
To be honest, I don't even remember that line. So
Is the first thing Connor says. Connor takes them on a quick tour. We get some agony booths, which are far more terrifying in modern CGI and acting than they were back in Enterprise. The regular universe people are all like, "Ugh, that looks really fucking terrible." Lorca, and I guess like this is more foreshadowing. Lorca's like, "Yep, agony booth makes sense to me." Put him in an agony booth.
It's almost like he was like, "Put me in, coach."
Right? Yeah, he's like, "I can handle it." Some fighting. Oh, okay. So then, Burnham and Connor. Burnham tells Ash to get Lorca set up in the agony booth. Which is a weird sentence. Burnham accompanies Connor up to the bridge. Connor's like, I kind of like being captain. Fuck you. So he tries to stab Burnham. So there's this fight, and the fight choreography is so much better in this show.
I was gonna say that was my note. This is good fight choreography.
It was a pretty good little fight. And then like in the middle, like because the hero's got to be like harried for a minute before they like come back. She like stops the turbo lift, and like they kind of float in the air and go back down. Is a cool fight scene. The whole thing is cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, she stabs Connor fucking dead, and he falls down and like onto the bridge as the turbo lift opens. And the try hard ass mirror universe people all slow clap for her, and it's the funniest fucking thing.
It is so ridiculous. This is why I hate the mirror universe.
And then they warp out, which my question was like, where are they going? Like, wasn't the plan to stay here so Discovery could beam them back? After a long, hard day of mirror universing, Burnham takes her fucking chest plate off in her quarters, and Ash shows up. Ash
he is just waiting for her there.
Right. Ash gives a speech. Turns out, by the way, fuck the mirror universe, because it turns out all of the passwords are the same as they are in the regular universe, which drives me fucking insane. Because, like, it's one thing, it's already stupid, but you've already explained how everyone in the mirror universe is paranoid. There's no way the security protocols are the same. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
But anyways, they're the same. Same password. I think it was just password 1 was the thing. But Burnham is like, I didn't have time to access the records because everyone's been too busy sidling up to me to get to get like on my good side because I'm captain now. I guess computers don't just work because like, can't she access the files from her fucking quarters where she is right now? Or I guess not. That's just not a thing. Ash goes in for the mommy hug, which is weird, but it also pointed out to me how big Ash's head is. He's got a huge fucking noggin. And like, coming from someone who has a big head, like a game recognizes game, really.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, they have decided that this is the best time to just make out and probably fuck.
Take a trip to Bangtown.
And as they're fucking and having a good time, that is contrasted with a cut to Lorca screaming in the agony booth, which is again quite disturbing in modern graphics.
Yeah, and that's where we end the episode.
Yep, that's credits roll. All right, so on a scale from 1 to 5, where 0 is threshold or shades of gray, how are we feeling?
So, while there were things that I liked about this episode, I have expressed before how my distaste for mirror universe episodes. It's a 2 for me.
Oh, the rest of the season is going to be rough, Chris.
It's really funny because like I also generally hate the mirror universe, but the humor in this episode was so good.
Yeah, it was good. There were fun jokes in it. I'll give it that.
Yeah, like I appreciate that they're they're poking fun at the mirror universe in a lot of ways. I gave
Like-
this one a 4. I really liked it.
Oh wow! Oh.
The part where they fucking clap on the bridge just ruined the whole fucking episode for me.
Oh, it was so funny.
I thought it
It
was
was
kind of funny.
dumb. I didn't find it funny. I found it dumb.
It
No,
wouldn't have
this-
been
this
funny.
was like-
Would it have been funny if like no? Would it have fixed it, Chris? If like earlier in the episode, that like one of the characters had like God, this universe just seems so try hard, and then as they're slow clapping, Burnham like looks to Ash and they make like a knowing eye contact. Would that have made it better?
It would have, yeah. Honestly, it would have.
Or like Burnham like does a fourth wall break to the audience right there. That would have been funny. Any other notes there, Rob?
No. I
Okay.
liked it.
I also gave it a 2, not because of the Mirror Universe stuff. The Mirror Universe stuff is dumb as shit. But like, I don't know. It's fine here because again, they're doing a lot of lampooning. My issue is that like, this was the first episode they dropped into the Mirror Universe. They needed to focus, and I think they branched too far into Ash's shit
Yeah,
when they needed to
I thought
focus
that
on
too.
the story that was happening.
Yeah, I agree. There was two definitely very separate storylines there.
Yeah. And like, it's fine to do that. And like, I understand that we're developing characters over longer arcs. That's not my issue. My issue is that like, this was not the time to do that.
Right.
Like, we're learning too much about what's going on for us to also have to be learning about Ash's PTSD and like his genetic shit. Like, we need to learn about that stuff when we don't care about what's going on. Like in the episode where they're on that planet with the
Yeah,
fucking
that was my
trees and
exact
shit.
thought.
It's like, yeah, that's a fine time to do other shit because like they're just doing it in a away mission. Like we know how this goes.
Yeah, that's a one-off thing. Yeah.
So that was where my biggest detraction was that they did not. The narrative was too broad. They needed to bring the narrative in a skosh.
I know it's not what happens, but I really wish that like Lorca by the end of this whole arc was just like, wow, this mirror universe shit is dumb. Let's just go back to yours.
I thought that is what happens. Isn't Lorca like at the end when we finally find it all out? He's like, I liked it in the regular universe better because I didn't have to watch my back all the time.
I don't know that that's really the same logical reasoning, but maybe.
I don't remember.
I mean, it's the best you're going to get out of a mirror universe tryhard, so I don't know.
That's true.
All right. Anyways, we will be back with. I'm sorry. IMDb gave it a 4. So we will be back with a deep dive right after this. Welcome back. So for today's deep dive, I'm going to talk about Jonathan Frakes. I wanted to start with a little bit of a bio because I forgot that Rob already did that. So I'm gonna just skip that part. Although he is from Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, which we did mention before. Did you know that is the geographic center of Pennsylvania? Did we mention that last time?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a little plaque there. I remember seeing it when I was at Penn State. Did you mention the fact that his like first job was as like Captain America for a Marvel promotion company?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that was like his first work out of college. He actually worked for Marvel as a Captain America, like at conventions and other promotional events.
Yeah, I could see it. He's young, tall guy. Yeah, I
Young,
could see it.
good-looking, tall guy. Yeah. Anyways, so what I wanted to do then, in addition to a brief bio that I'm skipping, was talk about the specific episodes that Frakes, well, not like real in depth, but talk about some of the highs and lows of Frakes' directing in terms of Star Trek episodes. He has directed some non-Star Trek episode stuff as well, mostly TV shows, although actually a couple of movies that were not Star Trek, including Clock Stoppers. I don't know if y'all remember that movie.
Nope.
It was like this Nickelodeon movie about like, a kid and his grandfather invents a way to like stop time and stuff. I don't know. It's the kind of thing that like my siblings watch because they were the right age for it. All right. So, as Chris pointed out in an earlier trivia, Jonathan Frakes directed this episode. This is the first time he has directed an episode since an episode of DS9, or no, I'm sorry, an episode of Voyager called Prototype. a fun little trivia note is that Jonathan Frakes has actually directed an episode of every single live-action Star Trek series except for Enterprise and the original series because he wasn't alive yet. Or I guess he was alive, but just he was a child.
Right.
But he has directed episodes of Discovery, Strange New Worlds, Picard. He directed like most of season 3. I think season 3. A bunch of one of the seasons. DS9, Voyager, and TNG. If you had to guess, how do you think his ratings generally are in terms of his episodes? Because I have all of the IMDb ratings for all of the episodes of Star Trek. So, like, how do you think he does?
I'd say he's middle of the road probably, because I know he has done a lot, so I'm thinking the quality is pretty wide-ranging.
Yeah, I would agree there.
Okay.
Especially since, like, this was sort of like how he came into directing, so I'm sure there's some goose eggs in there.
Sure. So, he is actually one of the better regarded directors of Star Trek. His numbers are skewed more towards the better end of the bell curve. So, like, if the average inside of general Star Trek ratings is in like the 6.5-ish range, maybe a little bit, maybe closer to 7, most of his episodes are above 7. Okay, and out of 10.
Oh.
One of his episodes is an episode of Picard. It is considered one of the best, like in terms of ratings, one of the best episodes of Star Trek. But that is also because it is Picard season 3, and IMDb fucking loves Picard season 3 because they all suck. So
they're yeah, okay. So I didn't, season 3 was whatever for me, but I know a lot of people loved the kind of should I say masturbatory?
Yes, that's my issue. However, he didn't write it. He was just directing it, so maybe he did a good job directing it. I don't remember the individual episodes of that season very well because I was rolling my eyes too hard. However, non-Picard, his best episode of TNG was an episode called Cause and Effect.
That sounds familiar.
My brain just immediately lost it. I was like, it's the one where I think it's
it
the
was
back
funny because
in
like
time
you cut
one.
off and you were waiting for us to like react and be like, "Oh, I love that episode." It's like I
that's
I think
the one where
the
Kelsey
time
Grammer's
loop
a captain.
Right? Yeah. It's the time.
Oh, yeah.
I thought so. Generally a pretty good episode. His next, so like of his top episodes, it's No Win Scenario, followed by Cause and Effect at an 8.9. No Win was a 9.0. Followed by Rob's favorite episode of Strange New Worlds.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so he actually did direct Those Old Scientists, which means that weirdly, he did not direct an episode of Lower Decks, but he did direct those characters.
That's funny, yeah.
And then, again, like a bunch of fairly good stuff. There's a lot of Picard in here. However, he does have a couple of stinkers, okay? Most of his stinkers are in like the Discovery and Picard era, although there is a DS9 episode called Meridian, which I don't 100% remember off the top of my head, but I do remember it was stupid.
Is it the one I'm thinking of? Oh, no, it's not the one I was thinking of. Oh, this is the one with the Trill planet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
While aboard the Defiant and the Gamma Crowd is surprised to see a planet suddenly materialize right in front of... Oh, that's the planet that phases in and out. That's right.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
It's not a good episode. He also did Parturition. Is that the name of that episode, or is it Partition? A Voyager episode.
Partition's got to be right.
I have it spelled weird, but I undoubtedly Parturition is a word.
Parturition? No, yeah, that's Parturition. Parturition. The 23rd episode of the series. 7th episode in the 2nd season.
Oh yeah, this is where Kes is like pregnant, or like is like about to be pregnant or something. Oh no, there's eggs and stuff. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so not a great episode, but a lot of Voyager kind of had its low points. However, Jonathan Frakes' lowest low. Do you know what it is?
No.
You've both definitely seen it.
Was it this episode?
No, it is a TNG episode.
Is it like Sub Rosa or something?
It is Sub Rosa. Yes, it is.
Oh, God.
Yes,
no.
Jonathan Frakes did indeed direct Crusher Fucks
a Ghost, yeah.
So that's fun. But again, most of his stuff is fairly well regarded. Of the TNG era movies, he is considered to have directed the two best, which are First Contact and Nemesis. Which are both, or sorry, not Nemesis, Insurrection.
Said not Nemesis. Shit.
which are both fine movies. First Contact is obviously one of my very favorite movies in terms of Star Trek. Insurrection is fine. Insurrection just feels like a 2-hour long TNG episode, but it's fine. It's fun.
Yep.
So he's actually not a bad director, as it turns out. Apparently, as I've heard from interviews with other Star Trek actors and stuff, he's good to work with. Because he was an actor for so long. He is actually a trained thespian. He apparently directs I'm not in Hollywood. I don't know the answer. I don't know this kind of stuff. But apparently, you get two types of actors that turn directors. One of them is well, I'm now better than all of you, so fuck you. But the other is I know what it's like to be an actor, so I'm actually pretty okay to work with. And apparently he's very much the latter of those.
Yeah, I've also heard the same thing. Apparently he's really great to work with, and a lot of the longtime Trek people seem to really respect how much respect he has for Star Trek as a whole.
Yes, I believe he really got his directing chops in TNG because the directors of TNG let people start to think about directing, let some of the actors start to think about directing, and he jumped on it with both feet and was coming in early to hang out with the directors and see how it worked and stuff because he was still pretty young at the time.
That's cool.
So because he was only in his 20s. Yeah, he was in his 20s when TNG launched. And his earliest TNG episode is was it season 3?
Counter at Farpoint.
No, he's got a season 3, The Offspring, which is not The Child. I think that's a different episode. But that is a fairly highly rated episode as well. So even in his first episode directing of TNG, he did very well. So. Anyways, Jonathan Frakes is apparently a really cool guy to talk to as well. I would love to have a conversation with Jonathan Frakes. So if our Irish person maybe has his contact information, you want to reach out, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, he definitely will.
He definitely does. Yeah. So, all right. That'll be the deep dive. Nice and sweet. Nice and short, I should say. I think it was sweet too. When we get back, we will have Potpourri with Chris.
Welcome back. So for today's Potpourri, I wanted to do a segment I haven't done in a little bit, but it's what I'm playing right now. I'm playing a couple things, but the one I wanted to talk about is Clair Obscur, Expedition 33.
Ooh.
It is so fucking good.
So I just started that the other day, actually.
Oh, did you?
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. Let me go on.
You were talking about it with our college buddies.
I got to get on the soapbox real quick.
You got to derail my segment real quick.
Sorry, I know that's very unusual. So if you could just indulge me. My issue with Clair Obscur is that, sorry, I don't say it Frenchy because I'm not French. I'm not great at games that have QuickTime stuff in them.
I knew this would be an issue for you. Yes.
However, I'm finding out that I started watching Josh Strice Hayes' video about it, and he was pointing out that it's one button. They're not actually QuickTime buttons. It's you press one button, and the timing is not impossible to predict and stuff. So right. I think I'm gonna be okay because I can I'm not bad at games. I played Hollow Knight through. I'm okay at games, but it's having to get my stupid fingers to do what I need them to do quickly enough. But this game doesn't require speed; it requires knowledge,
timing,
and that I can do.
Yeah.
I can't do speed and I can't do rhythm because here's a fun fact about breaking your neck. The pulses that go down the bad parts of my spinal cord don't go at a consistent rate. So it is tough for me to keep a beat on any kind of on the bad side of my body. So rhythm games, fuck me. I'm done. I just can't do it. But this game requires neither speed nor rhythm. So I'm actually, I think I'll be all right.
Yeah. Can I do my segment now?
Yeah, I suppose.
So as we said, it is a made by a French developer, who apparently consisted of 33 members and a dog. So apparently some facets, some parts of the
What's
game were kind
the
of...
dog's name?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
What kind of dog is it?
Lewoof. I don't have
It
that
didn't-
information.
Oh my god.
His name is Chien.
Hold on.
Is Chien just dog in French? What was that?
It absolutely is.
Oh, okay.
The dog's name is Monaco.
That's right. You all took Spanish in high school, didn't you?
Yes.
Yerp.
And German for Mariah, I think.
Hund for
Nein.
German.
I mean, ja. How do you say yes in German? Da.
He's a Newfoundland.
No, that's Russian.
Damn it.
Perro is dog.
The dog is the Newfoundland, and his name is Monaco. There.
Oh, it's a Newfoundland.
Yeah, he's a Newfie.
Oh.
So the first thing that struck me when playing this game was just the incredibly creative kind of setting and imagery they use for it. So kind of the basic premise is where you start is kind of, it seems like a chunk of Paris, more or less, that's kind of been carved out and put into this other kind of universe. But throughout it, it's all destroyed, parts of it, but parts of it are like, you have this like paint thing, because the enemy of this game is referred to as the Paintress, which sounds a bit silly, but the basic kind of premise is there is every year there's this event called the Gommage, where the Paintress it paints a counting down number on this giant tower in the distance. And the number corresponds to the maximum age that a human will live. So they're basically counting down from 100, and each time that they count down, people of that age will kind of picture Marvel Universe Snap. They just kind of disintegrate,
but in
float away.
rose petals, which is a little nicer. Yeah,
right. But which is really, I mean, it's kind of definitely a metaphor for kind of our human existentialism, right? We don't have a giant figure painting our number in the distance, but we're all, we're counting down. We all know what's going to happen once we reach a certain age. Yes, and I know, shock, French, a French company makes a game about existentialism, but there is also very strong themes of different ways people deal with grief, making sacrifices for future generations. They do a good job of kind of sprinkling in levity here and there. I know I said do. But they do sprinkle in levity. There's this fun kind of race of kind of sentient, those wooden like art models, figures where you could kind of pose them in different
mannequins.
Mannequins, those things. There's kind of this sentient race of them who kind of populate this land, and they're very silly, and they love to fight. There's also, of course, enemies who are mimes. That's
the mimes. The mimes seem like they're the cactuar of this.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a good comparison. They don't. I would say the game doesn't waste time. It's got a good pace to it. You can beat it, and for an RPG, in a relatively small amount of time,
I heard that you could get through the whole thing in like 10 hours and still see.
Yeah, if you don't do like any side stuff, if you just focus on doing the main game, you can get through it pretty quickly. Even doing a decent amount of side stuff. I mean, 30 hours, which for an RPG is pretty small. But it's not to the game's detriment, I think.
It is a JRPG, to be clear.
I mean, it definitely has themes in that. The battle is turn-based.
Everyone is calling it a JRPG.
I would say it's not a strict JRPG. I think they do things that others don't. But yes, it does harken back to, I think, classic elements of like Final Fantasy. There's several. There's kind of, I would say, 3 main type kind of gameplay areas. One is your in-base turn-based battles, where it is turn-based, but there is, as you mentioned earlier, real-time elements for dodging and countering, as well as certain multi-attacks. Kind of like Paper Mario, if you've ever played that.
And Mario RPG, actually, I think.
Yeah, Mario RPG as well, yep. There is kind of the exploration mode for the different areas, where you're kind of exploring, there's kind of enemies which you can engage, and then it will go to the turn-based combat. One thing I did like about those areas, I think the game does a good job of rewarding you for exploring. If you're not going on the main path, usually there's something good at the end of the other, kind of routes. Whether that's items or interesting story. The third area is kind of like the overworld, which is very much like Final Fantasy's overworld, where it's a kind of you have your party, which is kind of running around enlarged in this this world where you can go into the different levels, and still find certain items and things. In various places, you can kind of discover secrets and things like that. I did enjoy the combat quite a bit in the turn-based combat, because it isn't just turn-based, as I mentioned. I think the timing elements of it do a good job of increasing the intensity of the turn-based combat, so it makes it more engaging. You're not just selecting things in the menu, you're interacting a little bit, you're learning the enemy's moves. So you can better take them on, whether that's dodging, parrying, countering, all those things. One thing it does do, I noticed, is it gives you the ability to take on enemies that are much higher level than you are, who might otherwise kill you in one shot. If you have your timing down on them, you can either dodge or counter them, and take on enemies that you might not otherwise be able to, which I think adds an interesting element to it. Yeah. Like there's one section where, like, right off the bat, when you first get to the overworld map, there's this kind of like this like offshoot cave you can go to, where it's really just this high level enemy that's in there, and you get some nice loot from it if you beat it. But like, you can technically beat it right when you get out there, if you're good at timing the attacks it has and dodging and countering when you can. There is also, during combat too, they kind of have these like ranged attacks that you can do, where you like aim with like a ranged weapon, and so you can aim at certain parts of the monsters, and like sometimes they have weak spots that'll do a bunch of damage. Sometimes they have kind of mechanics built into these spots you can hit, where like there's one enemy where it's got like this giant crystal on it, and it turns colors as the fight goes on, and as it goes through this color scheme, it gets more and more resistant to damage until it's invulnerable. So you have to like shoot that to kind of knock it down each level to be able to actually do damage to it. I think they make good use of their mechanics in it. One other thing I liked about it is each party member kind of has their own style of play and interesting mechanics. They each kind of have their own unique resource or thing they do. Like one character builds up overcharge for big hits, so like he'll do lots of, if he does a series of smaller hits, he kind of has like an overcharge bar where he can do like a final attack which does a bunch of damage. Another one is kind of a mage, where they have these elemental stains, where you can combine these different stains and stack them to increase the damage or effects of other spells she casts. So it keeps it interesting, and I think adds some definite uniqueness to the play of the different characters. So it encourages you to kind of swap them out and maybe pair them up against, if you know an enemy that's coming up, you can switch to a party member that might do well against that specific enemy. I did like kind of the item and weapon system they do too. I think they make it interesting. You have attributes which you increase as you level up, but those attributes will also kind of improve the weapons you have, depending on the kind of attributes that weapon has kind of identified as its primary attributes. So like there's like strength and like stamina and agility and things like that. And so like a weapon might have, say, like agility and stamina. Like you'll get scaling bonuses for higher ratings in those attributes if you're using this weapon, so it'll end up doing more damage and such. So I think it's an interesting the way it links those two things. The other main part of the item system are Pictos and Luminas. I thought those are very interesting. Pictos are kind of these things you can equip for your characters that give you various bonuses that can drastically change the playstyle. Some do more upfront damage. There's sets where if you're solo, you'll do more damage or be tougher. There's ones that like turn the character into a suicide bomb. So they can really change and upgrade how you do in combat. The Luminas are kind of passive bonuses that you get. Once you use those Pictos for enough battle, you kind of learn them, and then you can equip the corresponding Lumina, so you'll get that passive bonus from them, and then you can move on to other Pictos to get different effects. So it's a lot of fun.
I think like as far as JRPG mechanics are concerned, the thing I like best about the Luminas, is that like they're equipped party wide. They're not like specific individual characters that need to equip shit.
They are.
Sorry, they're unlocked. There's some kind of party wide.
Yes. Oh yeah. I see what you're saying.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're talking about is once you unlock the Lumina, like it's not just you can use it by one character.
Oh, that's right. You can equip it on as many characters as you want.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Yeah. Which
I'm
I
still
think is
very
fun.
new in the game.
Yeah. You can equip it on as many characters as you want. So yeah, I think it does a good job. It doesn't add a whole lot of extra stuff that doesn't really matter. I think it makes every item that you can use interesting. So I think it does a very good job with that. The voice acting in the game is fantastic. The first kind of main character you meet is actually voiced by Charlie Cox, who, if you don't know, he is the voice actor for Daredevil in the Marvel series, and he does a very good job.
I did not know that was him. That's funny.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't at first until I was kind of doing research for this segment. I'm like, oh, that's him, and then like I heard, I'm like, oh yeah, that is him.
Yeah, now that you've said that, I'll go listen. I have to restart the tutorial section anyways because I fucking missed like everything.
Yeah. But no, yeah, the story's great, fantastic, which is kind of really what makes an RPG for me, at least. Just apart from the gameplay, it really carries it, and it moves quickly, and doesn't waste time. Overall, the game on Metacritic has a 93%, and then on Steam has 95% positive reviews with over 87,000 reviews. So
wow,
everybody's loving it, and I see why. It's a fantastic game.
So, can I ask, what is your general experience with JRPGs?
I mean, I did classic ones like Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger and Cross, and as well as more recent stuff. Though not as much recent stuff, I'll say.
You should play Sea of Stars.
Sea of Stars. The older or newer?
Newer, but based on, it's very heavily inspired by Chrono Trigger, and actually they got Nobuo Uematsu to do the music for it. Or I'm sorry, not Nobuo Uematsu, Yasunori Mitsuda, the guy who did the Chrono Trigger soundtrack.
Yeah, I think I saw this on Steam.
It's really fucking good.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, it definitely is. I think a lot of its core gameplay mechanics are very JRPG for sure. But it didn't bog me down like a lot of JRPGs do sometimes. A lot of times for JRPGs, I'll get like halfway through it, I'm like, ugh.
Right.
And I'll kind of lose interest halfway through. And I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Way, so.
I like, there are like Chrono Trigger is like the first game that really kind of did this for me, but also like in terms of the JRPG genre. But Sea of Stars kind of does that too, where it's like it's a story that keeps you going through it. There's not really a grindy section.
Yeah.
And as I understand, Clair Obscur is the same way.
For sure. Yeah.
Which I prefer. I don't like it when, because Final Fantasy fell into this a bunch of times where it's like, okay, now's the time where you just have to grind until you're good enough to go fight the final boss. It's like, all right, well, I'm not having fun anymore.
For sure. And like I said, even in situations in Clair Obscur, where you're facing higher level enemy, that doesn't mean you have no chance. Because if you're good at the countering, the dodging,
right. It means that I have no chance. I understand.
It's like one time near the beginning of the game in another level, like the first time this really became clear to me is like I fought something, I didn't know the moves, it killed like 2 of my party members instantly. I'm like, well, damn. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'll just try maybe if I can dodge and stuff. And like, I got it on the 3rd try. I'm like, oh, well, that's awesome. I get this sweet loot now that I might not have otherwise gotten if I came back later.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Highly recommend if you do play games and like RPGs. So, Rob, did you try it?
I have not. I keep hearing really great things about it. One of my favorite descriptions was unapologetically French.
Oh,
which
for
is
sure,
just great.
100%, very French, much French.
Very
Yeah.
a lot of
It basically, yeah, it's kind of, it uses kind of French art history as kind of the canvas for telling its story, really. So yeah, very French, very French.
Yeah,
like I said, I mean, it's got fucking mimes in it. I mean, come on.
I have it on my to play list. However, I've been playing the hell out of Dune Awakening lately.
Oh yeah, we're
once
playing.
I finished that, these 2 awesome friends of mine got me both the Oblivion Remastered and the Last Spell that I need to play through.
One of those friends sounds way cooler than the other, if I'm honest.
Fucking rude. Shit. Anyway, well, that wraps up my potpourri. As always, and as Stanford mentioned at the top of the show, please rate, review, subscribe. Spread the word. Tell everybody how great we are. We greatly appreciate it. And we will catch you next time.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Captain's Log Supplemental. You can follow us on Twitter at PodCLS or send us hate mail at podcls3@gmail.com.